Hello, and welcome back to my GTNH playthrough. It is December 12th, and we're just I'm about to experiment with, to see if my thought process for what I did here today is gonna work. And then we'll get into everything that, I ended up accomplishing today. So, right here, we're out, in the desert, a little bit north of my little desert outpost I had made. And we are about to start a ritual. So we got the blood, throw that on it, and boom comes the meteor. I can see that if you're paying attention to that little bit of warded glass there to prevent this from like crashing. Although technically it would just hit here and it would be. Yeah, I don't know how that would go. Anyway, so we got the meteor. So now I've got this miner here, which is obviously below this guy, but this guy is not actually here to use. It is here to be copied. So let's do copying, mark copy right here to here, and then, whoops, come up over here. Gotta go mark paste. Boom. And I think the only things I should have to do are one, get rid of this jazz. Come in here because I have mining pipe not in the main network. Mining pipe. Apparently don't have tape on me. Tape. Boom. Switch this upside down so it's filling up. Auto output. So that was one thing it didn't do, I guess. Got batteries in here. And I think this should just be good to fire. Nice. Hell yeah. I haven't set it up automated mining for one of these yet. Actually, earlier today was the first one I had go in. Then I tried to be cheeky and use the matter manipulator to collect it all. Turns out matter manipulator just voids ores, so that didn't work. But like I said, I didn't want to set up automation for this right now, but also did not want to set up the Bastonite line to get where is it? This holmium ore. So I figured I would try doing this. And that was pretty fast. You watch the whole process and basically just have to fly out here every once in a while, summon a meteor, and throw that guy up there, and good to go. And then I will set up the Bastonite line because I'm going. Basically, the whole reason I'm using that's for the wetware circuits, which obviously as we go, I'm going to use a ton of. So it does need to be done just so I have essentially unlimited of this stuff because I believe it's like Basta. Yeah, I've got a ton of this. It just none of it's ever been processed because why would I? I had no reason to before. So yeah, that's that. It works out because then on the way back to the main base, I believe I already flew. Am I lost? Here we go. So over here, we've got a couple minor things I set up today. So I set these guys up last night. Basically, just a bunch of electrolyzers running on IV solar, getting us oxygen and hydrogen. The hydrogen situation has taken care of itself. We're back up to max hydrogen, no problem there. Oxygen situation, not so much. You can see we're struggling here. I did plan on setting up a fluid solidifier over here to take care of the oxygen combs and stuff, but I'll be completely honest, I forgot to do that. That was something I was going to do earlier today, and then I just completely slipped my mind. Now, this mega chemical reactor here, however, is for specifically nitric acid, which as you can see, we are up into the 115 million, which is good because the whole point of doing that was to get nitration mixture, which keeps our polybenzene alive. So we're good on that front. If we look here, I mean, it's not perfect. I'm only at like half a mil, but it's a lot better than it was. It To be fair, I believe I have a level emitter at 1 million, and I've been crafting a ton of stuff, so I might just need to set that level emitter higher if I'm literally using that much in a few hours. But also, I went and took care of upgrading the phthalic acid stuff a bit. Turns out I had some jam ups that I didn't account for that are like I didn't have a void thing on, say, like wood tar. I upped the number of output buses as well as just some other minor changes. Weren't really worth showing off, but basically I went through and fixed that. So that was one of the major goals for today, was to go through and take care of some of my passives that are causing me problems. So I still need to do oxygen. I think so. Yesterday I kept saying centrifuges. What I was intending was these electrolyzers, but I do think I might set up some centrifuges with some air intake hatches to get more oxygen. And then right now this recipe for the nitric acid is running off the nitrogen dioxide recipe. However, there's a recipe for hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen just straight into nitric acid. So I think once I set up some centrifuges over here, I might swap this recipe. That way we're getting more oxygen, but then this I don't have to worry about producing this stuff, which this is used as from a byproduct of a lot of things. But it'll be better to have it on raw down, plus more oxygen will be helpful. All right, so let's head back to the main base. Man, the quantum armor is so nice, how fast I can fly with it. The flight, I'm still not sold on whether I like it more than the nano flight, but I cannot argue with boost being just amazing for speed and whipping around the world. So what did I actually accomplish besides that today? It's kind of weird because it feels like I didn't do a lot, but I definitely did a lot today. And most of it was down here. So if we come down here, if you're not familiar with this floor, this is where all my assembly lines are currently. Each one of these is a different component, with this one also being the heavy duty ingots. And once I finish crafting the last rocket, for example, I might change this to something else. But that's what we got going on here. Not too big of a deal, but one of the things I do want to do is set up more of these, like one specifically for energy hatches, one for dynamos, probably one for this neural processing unit, which is something new to today. This neural processing unit being the base, essentially like the integrated processing chip that you use for the LV or for different circuits. Like this is the first step of the wetware circuit. So I did get that in there, but I also went and set up, and then, so this is my generic circuit assembler that just does whatever recipe, and then these guys are all my imprinted ones, HV through my current UV circuits. However, these three are my new wetware circuits, which are all set up and running. All of them have their imprint in there. Like we look at the front, wetware supercomputer, wetware assembly, wetware processor. So we did get all those up and running. It wasn't too bad. Basically, my plan of action was I crafted the first wetware circuit, threw it in the slicer upstairs, made the thing, then did one run of it, then repeated the process till I got to this third step. So unlike the crystal processors, where all four of them are done in a circuit assembly line, the final one, however, is apparently done as this wetware mainframe. This mainframe is actually an assembly line process, and to be able to unlock it, we need the research station. Now that's basically where I got to today. So I got all from quest-wise, we were here yesterday, or technically 2 days ago, because I kind of did some flandering around yesterday, fixing power and stuff. But today we knocked out these four, this guy, and then we started coming this way on the quest book. Specifically this wetware mainframe, instead of running it through a scanner, we need to run it through the research station, which I don't know how to use yet. I have, however, crafted it. We can see it right here in my hand. And crafting it even got me this here trophy. So, woo! I've been a little bit since I got a trophy. So that was cool. But it looks like to set it up, I need to set up a quantum computer as well as the research station. I've never messed around with tech, so this will be a learning experience for me. Probably works out that it's on the weekend because instead of being distracted at work or anything, I can like kind of take a little bit of time and learn what's up with it. I'm thinking for temporary to start till I kind of like with AE2 where I had no idea what I was doing, so I kind of threw up a temporary setup until I figured out what I actually wanted to do once I knew what was going on. I think I'm going to throw the quantum computer here, the research station here, and then see whether it works or not. I already set up a power line and stuff. It's not hooked up yet, but if I were to throw it on here, I got UV power to be able to come up to here and mess around with that. But that's kind of where I got to. For the weekend, I should have a fairly decent amount of time to play. I've got a bunch of plans tomorrow, but tomorrow night, assuming I'm not tired, there are a bunch of random little things I want to get done. The bees, I've got a ton of bees that I want to craft. Specifically, I want to get through to the bedrockium line, which include as well as if we were to go into the bee tab, bee breeding. I want to do this whole line, which gets me Pyrithium and Lapitron, because Lapitron is still kind of slow. I have it in the autoclave, but this will speed things up a lot. I want to do this whole Ender IO line. I want to get Bedrockium, and just a few other random stuff, just to kind of round that off and because I am quite behind on my that crafting. The other thing I want to do, this is really silly, and I only noticed this today. So let's say I type in LV circuit. We got generic circuit. I did not realize there is a forming press recipe that's only 20 ticks to change any circuit into its generic form. So I want to set up a forming press for every tier of circuit and run all my circuits through to there, because basically any recipe I have that has fluid in it, for example, let's just I'm trying to think if I have any up here. Yeah, there's a fluid one. So if we were to look at this, for example, I've got, I need the 288 molten redstone. And as soon as it becomes a fluid recipe, you cannot use substitution stuff. It turns it off. And I can't, you can see I have, this one doesn't have a circuit in it, so it's not a good example. But, I don't know, say like, I don't know, the quantum computer. Well, why not? That's the one, something I crafted today. Quantum computer. See, it's got 2 UV, or it like rotates through here. But since it has this fluid, if I were to make this pattern right now in here, turn this over to this way, make this pattern, I cannot have it do this. Like if I try to make this, it turns off. So any of the fluid ones, I've been specifying specific circuits, and then anytime I upgrade my circuits, I have to go through and change everything. However, if I just set up those forming presses to go to this generic circuit, I won't ever need to do that again. And then if for some reason, like some circuit, I'm having problems with resource, like say the wetware ones, like maybe they're just taking too long and I can just pull that circuit recipe out for a little bit until I'm all caught up. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll slowly, as I notice them, go around changing a bunch of the patterns, at least the ones that are slow or that I use a lot, etc. So that's just something else. So that's basically the 3 things. Bees, learn some more about tech and try setting up this research station, and then doing that circuit thing. And if I do get the research station set up, I will make this last UV or wetware circuit to get the UHV tier circuit. And then I'll probably do this thing and then look into at least setting up my first Mark III reactor, because this thing, once I get this thing set up and I can make Netno, that's basically the main goal for next week, is to do the advanced no. I want this. This has been what's holding me back from a bunch of random stuff I want to do and random recipes I want to be able to complete. So once I get this, there's a whole feel. I'll probably actually have to stop and make a list of things to do, so I don't just sit there and spin my wheels because I'm like indecisive. But yeah, that's basically the plan. It was a pretty good week for progress. It was a pretty fun week. I've been really enjoying this part of the game, and I appreciate everybody for watching. I'm going to go get ready for cards, and I hope everybody has a good weekend. Goodbye.